In this lesson, I will tell you the difference between the terms formula and function in Excel. Formulas and functions are both written in cells and can be used to perform calculations or other data processing operations on values or contents of one or more cells. When we type something in a cell, Excel automatically tries to identify its type as a number, date, text, etc. Therefore, when we need to enter a formula or a function in a cell, we must start with the equal to sign so that it is not treated as a value. The term formula refers to a mathematical expression similar to the one that we type in mathematics, with the difference being that instead of variables such as x, y, z, we use cell references. For example, if I wanted to subtract one value from another, I would most probably write the formula in mathematics as x minus y, where x and y would be replaced with the values to allow us to get the results of the subtraction operation. In Excel, values are written in cells and the results of operations are also displayed in cells. Therefore, when we write a formula, we would be writing it as, for example, in the cell C1, I'm typing equal to A1 minus B1, which would be the mathematical equivalent of something like Z equals to X minus Y. What this will do is that when values are typed in cells A1 and B1, it will display the result of subtraction in C1, as you can see over here. I'm going to type it in the values over here. And you can see the effect of that displayed in cell C1. I can change the values in A1 and B1 at any time to see the effect in C1 as many times as I want. For example, the format of the formula is similar to mathematics, and the BODMAS rule applies in a similar way. Let us try another example. This time, I'm going to type around 5 values in cells from A1 to A5 and the type of formula in cell A6 to see the sum of the values in range A1 to A5. The formula that I would need to type now would be equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5. As soon as I press enter, I see the sum calculated and displayed in A6. Same as before, when I change any of the values in cells A1 to A5, I see the effect of that change in cell A6. This looks like a cool functionality, but when we have to work with a large number of values, then it becomes impractical to write long formulas to perform simple operations such as addition of all the values. The solution to that is provided in the form of functions. A function is usually a group of activities or operations that are identified using a specific name, and within round brackets, they are provided with one or more values and or cell references to allow them to perform the operation that they have been designed for. In this case, I will be making use of a function called sum. I will start with the equal to sign, as I mentioned earlier, and then type sum. And then I will need to provide the cell references to identify the cells whose values need to be added together. So I will type the opening round brackets and to let it know that I'll be providing it with the source data. I will type the cell references as A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, and then type the closing round bracket and press enter. You will notice that it has produced the same result as was produced by the formula that I had typed earlier. As I typed in the individual cell references for all the values in the function, it does not appear like much of an improvement over the formula that we had typed earlier. So how is this a better solution? Well, functions allow us to provide ranges when data is in consecutive cells, which we cannot do with formulas. So I will now edit the sum function that I wrote in cell A6 by double-clicking on it and replace the cell references with the expression A1 colon A5. Which means A1 to A5, and when I press enter, you can see that the same result has been produced again. But now the function that I typed in is relatively much smaller than before. This is more handy when we need to work with a large number of values. For example, if I have 100 values in cells from A1 to A100, and I want their sum in cell A101, then I can simply type in the function equal to sum, bracket open, A1 colon A100, bracket close, to get the sum of the values. There are dozens of other functions that we can use for different kinds of operations, which we will cover in other lessons. One additional point that I would mention before ending this lesson is that functions and formulas can also be used together in a single cell based on the requirement. For example, if we assume that the values written in cells A1 to A5 are the prices of different products, and the value in cell A6 is the total bill amount, to which we need to apply a 10% discount, then I could change the contents to equal to sum, bracket open, A1 colon A5, bracket close, and then after that I'm going to type asterisk symbol and then 90/100 to display the bill value with the 10% discount applied. The contents of the cell are now a formula that uses a function to get the sum of values in cells A1 to A5 and then multiplies the sum obtained from the function with the values 90/100 to get 90% of the total amount. The addition and subtraction symbols that we use in computers are the same as mathematics, but multiplication symbol is the asterisk sign on top of the 8 key on the keyboard instead of the X. And the division symbol is the / symbol instead of the flat line that we mostly use in mathematics. So I write it like this. For example, I wrote 90/100 instead of what we normally do in mathematics. We write it like this. Though we use this format as well in maths, but mostly we use this format. But in computers, we can only use this format for the division operation. That is it for this lesson.